Hey guys, just want to make a follow-up Suikoden Star Leap video. This time there's more information on the game. I've been seeing a lot of people's posts, comments, concerns regarding the game, Suikoden Star Leap. The main concern, the game being a mobile game, the game potentially having gacha elements, the game being microtransaction, money grab, all those concerns. But I think today, if you watch this video, we can dispel some of those concerns. Let's just take a look at the whole game before we judge it, because right now, this is not a good look, because this is the first Suikoden game in years, over a decade. This is the first Suikoden game. I think the last one came out in like 2013 or something like that, and that was for PSP. It didn't even come out for English. It was just Japanese exclusive. The one before that one was for DS, and it was something to do with the multiverse. It had nothing to do with the main Suikoden storyline. So the last one that really came out, I believe, was like 2005. I don't have the date in front of me or something like that. 2009, 2005, around that time zone. And that was Suikoden 5. That was the last main story. I was not even done with college at the time. So let's look at this real quick and let's just see what this game's about. The first thing we see is that Konami is not the developer. Is this company here, I think it's pronounced Mithril, they are the developers of the game. Konami is just a publisher. So we know that recently Konami has been pushing their IPs, but they haven't been developing them themselves. They've been more like the supervisors. The only games they've been in development with are games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And this, I saw this coming a few years ago. I said that Konami was going to give their Suikoden IP to another developer, and they were going to make a new Suikoden game. I thought it was going to be Rabbit and Bear with the original Suikoden creator. Unfortunately, he passed away, but that's what I saw. Unfortunately, he did pass away, and he wasn't able to see this come true. So, Suikoden Star Leap is an upcoming mobile game set in a world of Suikoden. And so let's keep going. So it's going to be produced by Shinya Fujimatsu. So let's read a little bit about Shinya Fujimatsu. Producer Suikoden Star Leap. He has been involved in game development at Konami for over 20 years. He started as a console game programmer before transitioning to mobile game development. So his specialty is mobile games. After working as a planner and director, he is now a producer in recent years. He has primarily worked on mobile games and is responsible for Suikoden Star Leap. So let's go. He's going to be the supervisor. I'm assuming he works directly with Konami and he's supervising it. He has mobile experience. He's making sure everything goes according to the Suikoden lore. And it says here the most memorable Suikoden games for him are Suikoden 1, Suikoden 2, but in terms of story, he really likes Suikoden 5, which is popular among people. And okay, so let's go back. That's Shinya Matsu. Sorry, I keep pronouncing his name wrong. And it says directed by Yoshiki Takayama, who's the CEO of Mithril. So he works as the director, art director, and senior director in various titles. He is the longtime fan of Suikoden. So that's a good thing, right? This guy, he is a longtime fan of Suikoden. He is the director, so he's going to make sure things go according to plan, according to lore, according to the story. The most significant Suikoden game for him is Suikoden 2, which was the first game in the series he played. After that, he played the original Suikoden 1, gathered all 100 stars, and then replayed Suikoden 2. That's how he spent my childhood. That's exactly what I did too. I did the same thing this guy did. I originally first played Suikoden 1, but I didn't get far. I was new to the JRPG realm. So I loved it, I enjoyed it. I stopped playing it. And then I randomly picked up Suikoden 2 sometime in the 90s, and I instantly fell in love with it. I'm like, wow, what's this? And I played it, and then I went back to 1, and then I went back to 2. It was that I started gathering, and I've played those games over 5 times. It's crazy. And then we have The character designs are done by Ryu. Let's see. Okay, we don't know too much about this guy, but the sprites look great, so I have no complaints there. Okay, so let's go down a little bit. So the story for the Suikoden Star Leap. The story begins just east of a giant scarlet moon empire at a village located on the shore of a lake. One night, our hero, the village chief, Hold's son, comes back home successful from his first hunt. The village is filled with celebration and brimming with hope for coming days, but an assault is launched and the fate of the village is changed in an instant. Our hero, alongside Haishiu, Shirin, and Sapar, embarks on a journey to restore peace to the village. In the midst of the giant whirlpool of destiny, the hero's small venture turns into a large ambition. So that pretty much means right there, you can gather 108 stars. And guys, like I'm telling you, if you stay to the whole video, we're going to see that this game is not as bad as you think in terms of gacha and microtransaction. We're going to skip down to that part now, so that way I don't lose people. Here are some of the gameplay features. I want to go quickly jump into the gacha and events. So if we see here, we're going to see gacha and events. While gacha mechanisms and events will be included, it will not affect the main story. Gacha will be character exclusive. No ruin or equipment will be included in gacha. There will be versions with different modifications and costumes. So that's all the gacha is. The gacha will just be character exclusive. So for example, there might be a gacha for the Suikoden one main character Tur. You might see him there. There might be something about Hugo or something about the Flame Champion, for example, or Laszlo from Suikoden 4. Just things like that, I think, just for fun, so you can just plug and play with your character. But it will not affect the main story. The story is free. The only thing that's gacha elements are things, and that's not forced. You don't have to buy that. You're not being told you better buy or you're not playing the game. You better buy or you're not going to progress with the story. You better do X, you better do... You're not being told to do any of that. This is optional. If you want to do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't have to. And that's that. So the people freaking out and beating down the game, oh, mobile sucks, microtransaction, you guys got to stop, because your negativity is really going to kill the momentum of this game. And it's really going to kill the momentum of the series pushing forward. We're getting an anime for Suikoden 2, for crying out loud. An anime. Whoever thought we were going to get a Suikoden anime? Especially in this many years. I honestly thought Suikoden was dead. The only thing that made me think Suikoden was coming back, because we got EDU Chronicles, and Konami saw that as rivalry. And I saw that as hope, as probably Rabbit and Bears eventually obtaining Suikoden. That's what I saw happening. And then unfortunately, Moriyama passed away, and I don't even know if he knew this was happening. Maybe they reached out to him, maybe he was going to be a part of it. I don't know. But what I do know is that we are here now, and we are getting a Suikoden new storyline. We're getting the Rune of Change lore. We're getting so many things that we were crying about and begging for. And yes, it's on mobile. Take it on mobile for now and see where it goes. If this is popular, if this can get a lot of downloads, a lot of support, I'm not telling you to blow your money. Just download the damn game and play it. That's Konami cares about downloads. If they see people are downloading something, that means there's interest. Just download and play the game. Give it a chance. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But here we are. We have an opportunity to support Suikoden. We have an opportunity to help Suikoden grow. You can either do that, or you can just whine, complain, and trash the game. Those are your choice. But anyways, I'm not trying to bash anybody. Just wanted to point that out. So we have that there. So let's go back up. So if you guys, that was the part I wanted to get out of the way, so that way you guys know that it's coming. So where were we? So the setting of Suikoden Star Leap is same world and calendar as the mainline Suikoden games. It takes place in 453, which SY 453, which is the same year that Odessa starts her rebellion, her liberation army. Two few years before the events of Suikoden 1. So it's right next door to characters like Pong, characters like Theo, Cleo, 3 years so 3 years after the event of Suikoden 5. It's the same year. Wait, 3 years the event of Suikoden 5. I don't know what that means. It's the same year that Odessa forms the Liberation Army to resist the Scarlet Empire's. So then it says the story revolves around the Rune of Change. Let's click on the Rune of Change and see if they update any information on it. It was supposed to be a Cinder Leader rune, but we don't know too much about this rune. It says, legend says the clan leader has a cursed rune inscribed on his forehead. It grants eternal life, but it doomed his clan to a life of wandering. Oh, interesting. So a true rune that with the ability to traverse time. This mechanism allows the game to act as both a prologue and an epilogue to various entries in the series, offering new perspective on previous established events. Whoa. So is the Rune of Change going to act like a... That would make more sense if Vicky had the Rune of Change, right? Because she's always traveling around, but she's just teleporting. But wow, the Rune of Change has the ability to traverse time. Traverse time. Sorry, I keep pronouncing that wrong. This mechanism allows the game to act as both a prologue and epilogue to various entries in the series. That is kind of intense, if you ask me. Players will recruit 108 new Star of Destinies while encountering familiar elements from the past games, such as runes, kobolds, and unite attacks. Locations such as Rocklands. So we're going to have the OG locations, OG characters such as Vicky, Odessa, Silverberg, Filk, Victor, Humphrey, Nina, Leonardo. These all can be seen in the promotional material. Okay, so here are the gameplay features, right? We have the headquarters systems. The protagonist village destroyed in the attack will serve as the game's HQ. And over here it says players can expand and develop the village over time. The game features a massive tree that blooms with flowers similar to the cherry blossoms. This tree is a crucial point in the story as the village was founded beneath it. Oh, interesting. When you recruit a specific character, a blacksmith shop will be built. However, some facilities will already be functional from the start. Mini games will be included. For example, fishing will be one of them, and there will be around 100 different types of fishes to catch. So that's pretty cool. There are both new mini games and some that have been changed from Suikoden 2 system, like the fishing minigame. I would really I'm hoping they have the cooking minigame. That's my personal favorite. So let's see. Suikoden character recruitment from Suikoden Star Leap. Like the mainline Suikoden game, recruitment involves meeting, befriending characters throughout the adventure. The production team stated that they are also... Okay, so it seems like will be available parties, their favorite characters from the past. Okay, so players will be able to form parties with favorite characters from the past. So that must be the gacha element, right? You're going to find characters from the past games. And I think that's... And that, again, guys, they're prioritizing accessibility. So pretty much the cool thing about Suikoden Star Leap, in my opinion, is that this is a great way for people to get into Suikoden that didn't know about Suikoden. And here you go, you can check out this new story, and if you want to purchase the old characters and play with them, you can, right? No one is forcing you, and that's cool because the character would probably come with their own mature ruin, equipment, stuff like that. So that would be interesting to see. And that says, with a few exceptions, the 108 stars in Suikoden Star Leap will primarily consist of new characters. Okay, so the 108 stars will primarily consist of new characters. That does not mean they won't have recruiting characters from the past games. The team is also considering events that focus on specific characters from the past games. The new 108 stars can be recruited by progressing through the main story. The gacha and I think we read this. The gacha and event system primarily focus on characters from the past Suikoden game. So again, that touches on the gacha system, like we spoke before. There would be characters who join the party as part of the story, and others who require specific conditions. Once you reach the end of the main story at launch, You'll be able to focus on gathering and strengthening the 108 stars in preparation for the next chapter. When you have many companions, some will gather materials for you. The more companions you have, the easier it becomes to collect materials. While maintaining the world and history of Suikoden series, this game combines the new 108 stars with characters from the past games. It's a unique element that works well for a mobile game. Both types of characters will be gathered in the base, and it will create a fun experience for players. The music. The game's music will feature over 100 new songs, as well as orchestrated rearrangements of classic Suikoden tracks totaling 150 BGM pieces. That's great. So they're going to take old music and rearrange them. Suikoden, the past series, such as 1 and 2, especially 2, had great music. They've used instruments like the koto. Okay, so let's skip that. So they have great music. That's what we know. There'll be both new looks and old tracks. For example, when you're in familiar areas from Suikoden 1, you'll hear the original music from that game. However, in the original areas from Star Leap, you'll hear new tracks. Okay, makes sense. So they have voice acting. The main story will be fully voiced, except for the main character. That's great. I hated that E.N.DNetwork Chronicles chose to have the main character talk. That was a bummer. The cool thing about me for Suikoden was that the main character was mute. That's what made it fun, right? Most of the characters have been recast. A few will be voiced by the same actors. Okay. The Gacha, we already read that again, guys. The Gacha mechanism will be included into the game. Obviously, it's a mobile game. That will not affect the main story, though. And the game is free to play. So if you just want to play the main story and not spend a single penny, then go for it, man. Play the main story. You don't gotta spend. People are acting like there's a gun to the back of the head telling them you better pay up, or you're gonna be you're gonna be effed. You don't know how to pay. So the war themes. The narrative explores war, balancing serious scenes with the okay. So there are large scale battles. As with previous two titles, the war system will vary. So we're gonna have so it's gonna be real time strategy, where you tap the units to move them and choose which opponents to engage. Okay. So it allows you to use special war skills that will be activated during war scenes. So they have the strategy battles. Once the battle begins, the game will be automatically switched to a separate screen. These mechanisms for these battles will be slightly different from the regular combat. There will be concepts like first attack, counter attack. Attacking forces will split into 2 units. First attacking units which will execute a coordinate attack. And okay, so this is talking about the strategy battle. Each unit will have a distant throw, such as cavalry, infantry. Their effectiveness will vary. Okay. Some characters will have the ability to lead, so just like Suikoden 1, I think 1 had that feature, but Suikoden 2, for example, some of them could be generals, and the other ones can only be like, you have the commanders, and then you have like the generals. So, for example, the Suikoden 2 main character, you couldn't make him into a general. He was always the commander of a unit, and then you have the generals. There'll be a wave attack system. There'll be multiple units can launch a coordinated assault on the enemy. This works similar to the linking system used in regular battles. Okay, deploy several units to overwhelm them. Okay, so we kind of know. So you encounter close combat range units in these wars. So if you're familiar with Suikoden 5, especially 5, you're familiar with this. And 2 as well. They use that strategy-based map system when they move. I think 5 was more in the realm where it was real time they were moving. The battle system features fast-paced combat where 6 characters can participate and collaborate in united attacks. The game is adapting symbol encounters with the added features of primitive attacks via field actions. If you manage a successful sneak attack, you can create mouse. Okay, allowing you to launch powerful attacks, chain attacks, blah blah blah. Second one, protagonists and their member Kai can quickly take down enemies. Okay, we know about cooperative attacks. Since the mobile game, they designed the encounter system with limited playtime in mind. Random encounters could make the game feel a little bit too much time-consuming and stressful, so they aim to avoid that. But they will also, I guess they're not going to have random encounters like the old RPG games. That's kind of a bummer, if you ask me, because they think it's too time-consuming. They aim to avoid that, but they made sure to place enemies in areas where encounters will still happen, so you won't be able to completely avoid battles while exploring. Okay, so it looks like these guys are scared of random battles, and that's what makes a JRPG a JRPG. most of the time. So for me, that's kind of disappointing. Basically, all characters will be playable and can be included in battle parties. However, not all characters will excel in battle. While all characters, all 108 characters are playable, like Suikoden 1, that is insane. Well, okay, well, there is a six-party battle. There will be a support system where some characters get assist. Okay, so it looks like not all of them can fight. Some of them will be assist characters. Combo command. In previous Suikoden games, you can select actions for all parties at once and then turns with a. However, in this game, they've adopted a system where characters can act one by one in order. Once there are 4 or more party members lined in the timeline, you can trigger combos. They have combos in the game. The order action is influenced by regular attacks, rune special techniques. Regular attacks allow for the quickest follow-up actions, while the speed of the follow-up actions for runes depends on the type used. So they've included a fast forward feature that can use the actions forward. So these guys want things to run fast, smoothly, and not waste time. So this is what these guys, that's their mindset. They want things to run fast, smooth, and efficient. And I think a lot of people would appreciate that. Because I know the old heads from back in the days, we prefer that random encounter and slow grind, because that's how we grew up. Okay, what else we have here? There are various types of special attacks in this game, and some characters will have a together attack as their special attack, and some characters will use their own techniques. Okay, and the teaser trailer, there was a childhood friend attack, O Sajimi attack, which actually is a special attack from Suikoden 2. Characters like Protagonist and Joy. Okay, so we did see that one. If you did see the trailer, you see, I believe it was the hero and somebody else, they were circling the enemies, and they did the same attack that the main character from Suikoden 2 and Joey did. They have included some Suikoden homages, and for certain characters, their together attacks. Okay, so they will have an up. Okay, so they're gonna add stuff from the OG games. You're gonna see some updated stuff, some spice to it. Special attacks can be activated by a single character compared to those that in the past that require multiple characters. When it comes to commands, there are typically 2 techniques. So I guess that means if I have the main character from Suikoden 2, but I'm missing Joey, I can still do my special attack with somebody else, I guess. So let's see. When it comes to commands, there are typically 2 techniques plus the special attack for each character. Some techniques are tied to runes, but others are specific to characters who don't use runes. The dialogues will change as the timeline evolves, reflecting the progress in the story. There is also a time-based system where materials you gather will vary by season. So the game has seasons. It has morning, afternoon, evening, nights, all offer different visuals. So that means this might be events that only happen at night. So I'm assuming if it's like Christmas or all right, let's go back. I'm assuming if it's like, yeah, Christmas time, December, you have like snowy regions. That would be cool, right? So if it's like Halloween, you have like a Halloween event. If it's summertime, it'll be hot. And then maybe it'll rain. I don't know. That sounds fun. We'll see. Instead of a tablet of stars, it's tablet of promise. There will be a trial of the tablet, which when completed will enhance the protagonist's abilities. Okay, players can strengthen weapons through a blacksmith. We know that. Okay, runes. Okay, we know that. True Suikoden style. Rune swapping isn't a feature in this game. Each character is tied to their own specific rune, and you'll develop that rune as you progress. They initially considered allowing rune swapping following tradition of past Suikoden games, but they found that it might create a high barrier to entry for newcomers unfamiliar with the series. So they adjusted it for this game, making the system simple while still I'm not sure how I feel about that. Not allowing rune swapping and having them tied to a rune, like if it was a true rune, I'm not feeling that. I don't think there's something confusing about rune swapping. Hopefully they change that in the future. That is a missed opportunity in my personal opinion. Okay. Town and villages. During your travels, your companions will speak to you, and as you walk through towns, you Also overhear conversations from the residents. These passive dialogue scenes will help provide additional context to the world. So this is a way to make the world alive. So you'll see people just having random conversation. In Gregminster, they populated the city with many residents to express the bustling life. Okay, so there's over 400 residents in that town. Other towns like Rockland will have fewer people. The number of residents will vary depending on the town size. That is really cool. You're from Castle of Gregminster. You'll even meet Alan and his friend Glenn. Let's just call him Glenn because I do not know how to pronounce his name. The towns are quite large, so they'll add a fast travel. But why is Alan and Glenn there? Were they? Oh, I don't remember. I played Suikoden so many times. I don't remember where I recruited them. I guess that's where they're from originally. Let's check them out. These are the first pretty boy duo here. So he was around during that time. Okay. He's still very young, right? Let's see his friend. I guess we have to click on here, right, to really see them. There's Glenn Grensol. Grensol, is that how you pronounce his name? Well, let's go back. Kind of lost our place. Okay, we're around here somewhere. There are blue lights sometimes in the town. They are small town item drops. You don't need to pick them up. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Okay, we're back. Okay, so you can find items around the town. Instead of affection, there will be a bond system. It's one of the elements for characters' development. The bonds have ranks, and you can track as... Okay, so I'm assuming there's a way, okay, to receive items. I wonder if there's also a way to unlock them or something like that. If you increase their bond to a certain max level, you can unlock certain characters. Who knows? There will be a waiting motion on the field map, not only for the new 108 stars, but also for characters from the past game. We've added motions. You can enjoy various motions at the base as well. They've paid a lot of attention to pixel expressions. And whether it's in town events, that's always a good thing, right? Making sure that your pixel art is expressive. Because I'm a pixel artist and I love this, even like the slightest little emotion on their face gives the whole scene personality. They prepared animation for loading screens. For example, there will be loading screens with Vicky teleporting using the blinking rune. They wanted to avoid making first-time player feel confused or anxious, so we've decided to skip teleportation. Failure. Okay. So you won't have like those scenes where Vicky fails to teleport and throws you into like the ocean or something. Within the story of Suikoden Star Leap, it's possible that the names of the past protagonists may come up as a historical hero. However, they've made it so players can customize the protagonist's name in advance. They provide a default name, but if players want to input the name they've used when they played the original game, that name will be appeared in the story. Okay. Let me read that again. So within the story of Suikoden Star Leap, it's possible that the names of past protagonists may come up as historical heroes. However, they've made it so players can customize the protagonist's name in advance. They provide a default name, but if players want to input the name they've used... So if I'm reading this correctly, for example, the Suikoden 1's main character's name that we all know him by is Tur. So I guess his name is going to be Tur, but if you want to switch his name, you can, or is it going to be a different original name? If you want to switch it, you can. That's what it seems like they're saying here. The story won't alter the history of past games. It's more about uncovering stories that weren't told in previous installments. Oh, that's cool. So I guess it's a way to... Like I said, this is what I've been telling people. This is a way to expand the lore of Suikoden series, right? They're going to use this mobile game to expand the lore, and I promise you, eventually they're going to make Suikoden 6. Konami probably won't develop it. They keep having other people develop the games for them. And look at Silent Hill. That's actually a good thing. Usually when an outside source does the game for you, those guys are hungry to prove themselves. And when Konami's paying them the big bucks, you know they're going to succeed. Okay, so here we just have a rundown of the characters. I put this Wikipedia in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Let's check out some pictures. The game looks beautiful. Look at this game. It looks very nice. So you can see daytime, nighttime. This looks like springtime or something like that. There's Vicky. She just teleported out of nowhere, I'm assuming, because they all look startled. There is my boy Victor, Phil Humphrey. There's a battle right here. Looks like 3 against 4. I'm not sure if the guys in the back are fighting or just chilling. This is a war battle. And that's it. If you guys want to check out their information, this is where they got the source, the interview with Famitsu interview, and official X account, and official website. This is where they got the sources. You can check out. I'll put all this information in the description below. And that's it, guys. Just, trying to stay positive. This game hopefully is going to be great. Anyways, thank you for watching. Take care.